So I don't see a lot of cameras on tonight. Make sure if you are camera ready that you go ahead and pop those cameras on so we can see your beautiful faces. Of course, you want to make sure that you get your content tonight so that you can be reposted on our social channels at China Bethley and also at richuniversity.co. Yes, I agree, Merlan. Excellent prayer. The bread talker tonight, and I'm so excited that he has an opportunity to kick us off with our first section in just a moment. But yes, definitely go ahead and make sure you're getting your social media so that you can share our book club across the world. It is such an amazing gathering of the minds. And I definitely want for more people to get involved, for more people to be able to participate and grow alongside of all of us. All right, welcome Dr. Nikki. She just popped in. Oh, so the gang is all here. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the bread talker? So I'm going to spotlight. I hope that I spotlight the right account. Let's see here. I think we'll do the co-host account. Perfect. So should be able to see you nice and big.
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, I was just saying, I think last week that both you and Shireen celebrated big birthdays. Happy belated birthday once again. Wow, y'all are the power couple, relationship goals, right? I love to see it. The fact that you all are just doing so much together and just really modeling what a strong, godly relationship looks like for all of us. Love that. I live vicariously through you all as a single person. You want to have that type of relationship whenever he comes and we're going to manifest it. He's going to be here at some point, maybe 2024, but if not, it'll be the right timing. Drè, go ahead and kick us off with the overview.
Absolutely. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, this definitely has been a beautiful journey, one of growth and love. And Dr. Leah, actually reading in his book, with the 7 Habits, I saw a lot of our own relationship and family involved with that. First and foremost, I want to say thank you again for hosting this call and being a tremendous pillar of our community and adding that doctor onto your title. It seems it's fitting. It's fitting. These habits right here, when I was reading this book, I had to go over it a couple times because there's so much meat. And as I was reading, and I do a lot of, when I do work around the house and stuff like that, I like to listen to my information, and at night I'll go over and I'll do some reading. And I just said, you know what, this type of book, it really isn't meant to be read just in one shot, not even 2 shots. It helped me realize that I need to read a chapter, and if I have to take a day or 2 days just to go over one particular section, then that is necessary. I gotten so much out of it with these habits. I want to read this one part in the beginning, very beginning of the book. It says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit," by Aristotle. Give proper credit. In marriage, in relationship, in family. Has to be a destination, a destiny, continuously putting in work and factors. And there was a part in the story, or a part in this particular section, where he talked about the gravity pull, and he talked about what it takes for a rocket, in order for a rocket to reach its destination, which is space. And then whatever travel happens from there, whatever that destination is, the most momentum that happens is in the beginning stages, when that rocket first takes off and it breaks the atmosphere and it reaches the sky. Many times in our business, many times in our relationships that we build with others, we always reach for the moon. But before we get to the moon, we're not willing to work on the foundation. I believe that part when they talked about the liftoff, it says liftoff takes tremendous effort. It takes tremendous effort just to lift off. That's the hard part. Breaking the bones, mending it back together, figuring it out, building and scaling your business, learning how to become more personable. If you've been an introvert, how do you come out of that shell? Or what are some of the little things that you do over time that's going to help you achieve that goal? But once you break out of that gravity pull, it says our freedoms take on a whole new dimension. We enter in a whole new stratosphere. I was thinking, Dr. Leah, when you first started your business, I'm sure you had to overcome many barriers to get to the point where you even gain notoriety. The end game, of course, you want to make some money, scale. But how do you get to that point? Create a business, create an idea. How do you turn an idea, or how do you turn a desire and idea into something more where it's tangible and you can actually feel it and others can see it? This book helped me in a lot of areas. In relationships, we develop these habits. Help me understand one. It says, what is a habit? It says the intersections of knowledge, skill, and desire. Sometimes when you think of a habit, you just think it's just something you have to do over time, and you just leave it cut dry, right? It's just plain, but you don't understand the fundamentals that go along with it. First, you start with, the author shows how you start with once you have knowledge of something. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm that what to do and why. What do I need to do to get to the destination? How do I develop that knowledge? Well, in school, in order to get some specific jobs, a high-powered job or career, sometimes you may need to go to school or surround yourself around a community that'll allow you to acquire the knowledge. Personal development is going to play a big part in that area, right? And then why do you want to get to this destination? Why do I want to get to in our business? Why do I want to be a chairman? Why do I want to be an ambassador? Why do I want to be a CEO of a company? Why do I want to be a manager? Or what is the reason for you getting to that next destination? When you obtain that knowledge along the way, it's going to help also develop your why. Your small why actually can turn into a bigger why, because you understand there's a bigger scheme, a bigger paradigm. And in that process, the second part is skills. You're going to develop the skills through knowledge. You can't gain a skill without knowledge. Not even possible, not even close. Many people want to go straight to the skill. They want to get straight to the meat and the potatoes. They want to get to the money, but the knowledge of how to acquire that, to become a realtor, in order for a person to become a realtor, first you need to have a desire. Then you need to pick up a book. Then you want to surround yourself in a community with people that are speaking the language of real estate. There's a certain language with it. I know, because when I first started learning about I knew I wanted to build a business, and I knew one of the fastest ways was real estate. So I used to just randomly go to seminars. If a seminar popped up in my area, I would say, hey, let's go to the seminars. A lot of times they were just free, so just go. I didn't understand the lingo, I didn't understand the jargon, but the more that I stood around or stayed around that area, I was more enticed and more intrigued, because I may have saw people that looked like me, and I saw people that were doing better than me. And I saw people who were just really on the very bottom. They just didn't know any information, but they just knew they needed to get in the room, creating these habits. And through those habits, it developed the skill set to understand, hey, listen, I want to become a realtor, then I need to study. I need to stay up late. What I found myself is, when I took my real estate exam here in Virginia, I took my state and I took my national. It took me 2 times to pass the state. It took me 6 times to pass the national. The main reason why is because I didn't want to go back and do the math section. But each time, which would encourage me to keep coming back, because I wanted to quit, but I knew if I quit, it doesn't make no sense. If I quit now, I need to develop this habit, because I want the destination. I want the golden egg, but I got to go through the goose. As the author talks about, between the goose and the golden egg, in order for me to get what I need to nourish and harness the skill set and get everything I can, so I can develop a goose to get to the point where I can lay these golden eggs and lay these nuggets. That's the money, that's the outcome, or that's the what is the word I'm looking for? It is the results for the work that's being done. And when I was able to pass that exam, finally, I was elated. overjoyed because I didn't quit. I developed a habit and a muscle, and it helped me see myself in a different light. I can do anything I put my mind to. I can stay up later. I can put away the TV. I can not go out and have a good time with the fellas, and I can not go to the movies. I can put things to the side for the greater goal. I got to develop this goose. And I love that story because I didn't understand paradigm between, well, when the author was talking about the goose and the golden egg, I never realized the full story. But when he spoke on it, and he talked about how he had this goose, and all of a sudden the goose would lay golden eggs, and he thought it was a joke until he took the eggs and got them appraised and realized they were of immense value. Well, over time, this farmer, he became wealthy, he became rich, and he became very anxious to get more eggs. So to speed up the process, which he was fortunate to have, he figured, I'm going to kill the goose so I can just get all the eggs at one time, but not even thinking that there's a process that this egg is being created within this goose, much like a fetus is being created inside of a woman and the connection that she has with her mate. It must go through that process in order for it to happen. You can't randomly just speed up the process. When the farmer killed the goose, there was no more golden eggs. And in that time frame, I thought about this. I said, well, in that process, it was a fast result. With that fast result, did the farmer really gain the knowledge of what it took to get that goose, of what the benefits were out of having that goose laying the golden eggs? Or did he just obtain all the wealth, all the money, all the funds? And it made me think about the business of whether it's network marketing, whether it's a normal business or company environment, operations, companies, the rush to develop people so they can help make you a greater rank, and you help make them a greater rank. When you're moving fast, it feels good. It feels great. And I remember the statement, success loves speed. Success loves speed. Success loves speed. It was something that was jammed down my head. And I believed it. I ain't gonna say I believed it. But then I started to think about it more. Success loves speed, but success truly loves sustainability. A lot of times what I started to see was, as people grew their business, whether they grew their network or the organization, or whether they grew their companies, the sustainability of some companies wasn't possible because they didn't build the proper infrastructure to maintain this influx of people coming into their business. They made more money, but they didn't create bigger systems or better systems to maximize that growth and development. I mean, there was some nuts and some real meat in it. He said, there was a part in here where it says something about the maturity conundrum, continuum, right? Continuum, that's the word. The maturity continuum, it says they move us progressively on a maturity continuum from dependence to independence to interdependence. From the stage of dependence, independence, and interdependence, which I found myself after reading this, I started using the word interdependence a lot more, and I thought about it in a sense. In order for a business to truly grow, it has to be interdependent. But a lot of times, like a child, when a child is first born, there's dependence. Like when a child is born, if a child isn't taken care of, if you're not doing anything for that child, and then within a matter of hours or even a day, a child is not going to be alive much longer, right? It's going to hinder its health and its growth. Same thing like a business. When you're in the beginning stages of your business, how are you nurturing it? How are you nurturing your dependence? One of the first things I would say is develop your personal development and growth. Develop that, because you're gonna need to develop that fortitude. Because when those no's come, and they will come at various stages, because when you meet your success, whatever your why is, and you max out and you reach your why, there's still going to be a no, because there's going to be a greater position for you to obtain. You could become a congressman, but guess what? Your goal is to become a congressman, but the overall now you become a senator. Now you become president of a company called United States of America. There's a difference when you reach each level. So when you're creating habits, you also always want to make sure that you're gaining the proper knowledge. You're increasing your skill set, and you continue to have the desire, the fortitude to continue to move that needle, mature at each stage. And a lot of times you better do it fast. So the more that you put the time in, the more you get into your skill set, the more that you really take what you need to obtain seriously, is the quicker that you'll be able to maximize whatever that cherry is, whatever your golden egg is. If it's to be next rank, if it's to be the next supervisor, to be the next CEO, to be a father, to be a mother, to be a wife, to be a husband, whatever that goal is, you got to work on it right now. You got to work on it right now and continue to enhance your skill set. So for somebody that's married for, I've been married a long time, and I don't want to know what the market is out there, because I already know it's crazy out there. From what I see, it's crazy. But what I will say is continue to work on who you are. And a lot of times in relationships, I found people jump into relationship after relationship after relationship without getting a chance to know who you are at that point in time. Because who you are before you get in one relationship is not necessarily who you are after you possibly get out of that relationship. You may have some scars or some damages, or you may be in a happy place. I don't know, whatever that is, but get to know who you are before you put yourself in another situation. And a lot of times we jump from one situation to the next situation without healing, without creating habits, without learning that skill set and being able to recognize what those red flags are. So in business, you got to be able to recognize what these red flags are. Don't go down that alley. Don't take that trade. Don't take that sale or take that deal. Don't deal with that man because he might not be no good. How does he treat his parents? How does he treat those that he truly loves? It's going to tell you a lot. How does he care for his body, or how does she care for her body? And when I say he or her, it's interchangeable. Ladies, we got some ladies here, some guys. It's interchangeable. How does that person treat another person? Because it's going to say a lot about how they treat you. How do they treat their pets? It's going to say a lot. And find out if you can, find a little bit more about their history before you put yourself in a situation where you're giving more of your body, right? Your mind is your body. Every being is your body. Your mind is, before you devote too much, find out more. Before you devote too much in your business, find out more about what you need before you go to that next corridor, that door. And this is why it's important for us to have good mentors, to have good friendships, to have a good balance. You got to have a yin and a yang. You have to have a yin and a yang, and understand that. So going back to, real quick, and I'm almost finished, going back to dependence, learning how to come from the point of dependence where you're doing things on your own. There's a stage and a time for that. And when you start to scale and grow, now as a child grows, there's an independence that they develop and they begin to have. In business, you're going to have an independence, a point where you're going to have to be dependent. And that's a strong area. You're always going to need to have that skill set. But it's truly where interdependence is, where you have a broader scale, where Dr. China would have recognize you're not going to build this business by yourself. In order for me to scale and grow, I need to have more of me's around, and even maybe some lesser versions or some higher versions of yourself. It's got to be balanced. It's got to be balanced. It's got to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a lot more. And mentors need mentors. Mentors always need mentors. There's no such thing as a ceiling. If a person has reached their ceiling, woe to them, as it was saying in the scriptures, woe to them, because there should always be an area of growth. So the 7 habits in the overview, it covered being proactive, begin with an end in mind, things first, learning how to put things first, put first things first, and think win-win. Think win. Always think about the win. How can I win in this situation? There's always a positive and a negative scenario. So be as optimistic as you can be, because in business and relationships, there's always a positive in every negative situation. Minimize your negative as much as you can, and seek first to understand. Seek first to understand was number 5. Synergize, embracing the power of teamwork and collaboration. There's power in collaboration. There's power in teamwork. Teamwork does truly make the dream work. So when each and every individual shows up for this book club, it's so much more fun when we have more than one. What would this call be like if it was just me, Leah, Shireen, and maybe one other person? It's great. It's cool. But when we have a whole bunch of people on here interacting, there's no limit to where this could be. And number 7, sharpen the saw. Continue to sharpen your saw. Regularly renew and enhance your physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. You got to continue, like a saw. Continue to sharpen that knife. Sharpen your sword like a ginsu. The better you be. There's more meat and potatoes in here, but that part cover the rest. But hopefully you took some valuable notes. So whether it's physical notes or mental notes, and take what you got out of it. I highly recommend anybody that's has encountered this book to really dive in again, or just go back in. Because I'm definitely going to go back over this a couple more times and then move on to the next. So take your time, be patient, have a plan, use the wooden leadership. Talk to me. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Drè. Wow. Honestly, I don't think you missed anything. You said you may have needed more time, but you covered it. Truly just played the overview, okay? And, really it's designed to be an overview. It's designed to set the stage for what's to come with getting into the meat and potatoes of the 7 habits. So, you listed them all. You gave us, personal testimony about you being proactive in your own life to lead to some successes, which is incredibly inspiring. I don't know what else you could have added. That was awesome. So let's get some fire in the chat for Drè, a military veteran. So thank you for your service to our country, but also thank you for your service to this book club. Every time you speak, you deliver incredible value. So thank you so much for that. So we'll take a couple of minutes to invite anyone who would like to add something additional